So welcome to the review of race day 3, another really thrilling flight, or actually racing day with really nice weather. So we had a really nice summer day today in Niederöblan, Austria. So nice clouds, less wind speeds, so it was quite a straightforward day with a polygon of 4 turning points, 360 Ks via Wald am Schoberpass, Wildalpen, Fusch, Großglockner, Trautenfels, and back home towards the threshold 2-2. And it's quite straightforward for most of them, but we had also some penalties, especially for guys. They were early, at least Lima Victor was too early before the start gate opening. And we can see this now. So the start gate is short before the opening now. The first turn point is actually in the east. Everybody was overflying the start gate from west to east, as we can see in a few. So we focus on this now, and then we can see everybody going over the start line at 2,200 meters this time, with the maximum ground speed of 170 kph, and everybody is leaving and is doing more or less a classic route. In terms of classic, I mean there were cloud developments going on, and as you can see, the first different route was taken by Lima Victor and Whiskey Golf, and they did quite a good job because they were just ahead a little bit. So you can see they're just moving on, everybody is staying together. They're giggling here, and Lima Victor and Whiskey Golf are on their way and trying to make progress. 1,800, 1,900 meters at the moment, still 39 or roughly 40 Ks to the first turning point, and everybody else is going on. And as you can see, mostly close together, and they are just going on. Lima Victor and Whiskey Golf, those two Austrian guys from the western part of Austria, joining them again, and so everybody was together. And now, as you can see, Sierra India and Whiskey Golf just rushing ahead, everybody quite high, between 2,500 and 2,800 meters. On the way to the second turning point. Was quite clear for most of them, as they told me, and they were quite convinced to stay high, stay over the ridges, taking climbs if necessary, but most pilots, they just went on. Sierra India, the young Simon Schröder, took the first turning point together at Whiskey Golf. They're just going on. Yankee 4, Mario Kiesling, is also following, and everybody else did the same, more or less, in quite a comfy height. We're focusing now on the following traces, and as you can see, everybody is just still on the same road. It's quite a dense group. Nobody's doing different things because it was quite clear how to go, where to go. And this area is a bit tricky. You need to know where you are because there are not many outlanding options. Basically, in this area is nowhere to land. You need to know that there are a few places in the north to escape and stuff. So I was not quite convinced if everybody, of even the young guys, were even quite convinced about where to go if they get low. But anyway, they were not really in the trouble. So everybody was taking their time, especially Mike 3. He's very from the area. He's quite a local guy, actually. And Sierra India took the turn. And also Yankee 4 is coming up next. As you can see, sorry, Bravo Tango, India Kilo. So the Swiss guy, Werner Danz and Andy Lutz, Papa Kilo, Philipp Keller, and Mike 3, and all the others. They did the turn, and then we just moved on to the next climb. As you can see, most of them going between 1800 and 2300. And even in this area is, yeah, it's good to take a climb because it's not really looking good if you're very low. And now look at the next route. Everybody is going the same route except the first three: Sierra India, Yankee 4 and Alpha Golf, and they now do something differently. They taking a little climb here. Everybody else is coming up, and then they are leaving differently to all the others, and they're going now to the southern side of the Baltenliesing Valley and coming to the Bösenstein area, which is a very famous mountain, but actually a very famous climb. And then they get a really nice climb here. They split up and they were building up a very close formation, as they told me. Usually it was not planned having a cooperation like this, but anyway, they found a really good climb, and this climb with about 4 to 5 meters per second just, yeah, blew them away like a rocket, and then they are ahead for another 10-15 k's most of the time. And all the others were staying together. 2 more gaggles were building, one in the rear, and the next one with Wolfgang Janovic and Werner Ammann, those 2 Austrian guys, and the 2 Slovenian guys, Boštjan Pristavec and also Limasulu. And they're now moving on. As you can see, they're gaggling, and the other guys are stood well ahead. Whiskey Oscar Wolfgang Janovic is also picking up a bit, trying to fly ahead of all the others, but they were all in quite close formations, and everybody is going now quite straightforward to the west. It was in the beginning a bit of a discussion going on which route could be the fastest, either the northern side of the valley or the southern side, and everybody was choosing this route because, as we saw it from our studio, it was quite good developed, good cloud bases, between 3 and 3,400 or 500 meters, and you see the 3 young guys, Simon, Mario and Jan Frederik, are on the way, building a nice gaggle, a nice loose formation. And they told me they didn't talk at all to each other. They were quite in a good mood, and they pushed it quite good. They took the climbs where they were. They took the energy lines. So we can see they still, and they remain about 10-15 k's ahead of most of them. They're coming up now very high, 3-3, while the other are another 500 meters below. But Whiskey Oscar is also picking up now with Boštjan Pristavec from Slovenia. Oscar Tango is almost flying lower than most of the others. He's quite convinced flying low. And we can see now the gaggling going on. A few pilots were just falling back a little bit, and all the others were quite together in mostly the same height, between 3,000 or 2,800 and 3,200. And as you can see, the young group is now taking the turn point, and from there on they're trying to get their race back home, because still 85 k's to fly, and everybody else is also coming to the turning point. This is now quite interesting. Bravo Tango, the Swiss guy, is now trying to go ahead a little bit, trying better energy lines. But he's slightly lower than all the others, He's 1900, 2000, while all the others are above 2.3, 2.4. It's very important in this area because all those spurs and ridges, they're leading down the valley to the main Enstal area. And then you need at least a certain height to get the thermals over the ridge tops. And as you can see, those guys are in the final glide now. They are more or less on the route. The sun is behind and is shining on those spurs because it's quite late. It's around 5:15 now, and they are quite convinced. And then they told me that they were just now in the racing mood against each other, and so this was quite an interesting race now, and everybody was just convinced of beating each other, or the other guy. And as you can see, Simon Schröder is ahead, Yankee 4, Mario Kiesling, European champion, and Alpha Golf, even a very talented young pilot from Germany. All three guys from Germany coming to the last turning point. And now something really, nasty thing is happening because Yankee 4 Mario Kiesling is not taking the turn properly. So he's getting a 300-second penalty because he's not flying into the turn, into the 500-meter radius. But he's still in the radius of 1,000 meters. And so he's falling back to the third place then. But Simon is in the race. Mario is picking up, as you can see, quite a sharp race now. Those three pilots, and they're taking advantage of all the others. And Mario is trying to catch him, but anyway, he's not taking advantage because of his penalties. And now they are in the race. Really good and sharp race of them. All the young pilots. Simon is just 21 years old. And Alpha Golf, even the young German, the mid-20s. And all the others are coming now. And then we have another gaggle coming up. It's Whiskey Oscar Echo Juliet, Wolfgang Janovic and Bostan Pristavec. The two winners from yesterday are hunting for more Grand Prix points. Same as Robbie Schröder and Heimo Dämmerer. And as you can see, they do a quite sharp final glide here. 1,200 meters roughly is just enough to get around the corner into the turning point and taking the turn. Well done. Quite a sharp race. And over the finish line as 4th and 5th. Yeah, really nice. And the next one actually is then Didier, Oscar Delta Sierra 2, Didier Haus, Luca Schniderschitsch and Andy Lutz, India Kilo. Oscar Delta, Heimo Dämmerer is now coming 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. Whiskey Golf, Lima Victor, there's two Austrian guys from Western Austria are still together, and also Bravo Tango. Those guys were very low, and there were some penalties for some of them for approaching too low, below the 100-meter minimum over the finish line. And everybody had a really nice day and a really, actually good race. Well, even Max and Mike 3 are coming back home. Mike 3 was the only guy as the same as the other days with the 50-meter Ventus, so he's not having an advantage with his glider. And Mike Alpha X-Ray, Alexander Müller, is now also arriving, same as Christian Hinnig from Austria and Echo Delta Ecker Stefan Sänger from Germany, and everybody is back home. And Oscar Tango is still struggling here. He's trying to make himself up and is also flying back home. Quite low here, but he's coming for a direct landing and didn't finish. Anyway, this was a quite interesting day, race day 3, over 360 k's, nice weather. It was quite warm even on the ground. We had 30 degrees and more, and we're looking forward to another sharp race day tomorrow. We say bye-bye from Niederöblan, Austria, the Sailplane Grand Prix 2016 here in Austria.